Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, February 21st today. I'm doing this market report a day behind just because yesterday got so busy once again. But happy late President's Day. Yesterday was President's Day, the 20th of February. Without further ado, we're going to get into this market report. So our active listing count between Jackson and Josephine counties for residential is currently 779 listings. Up 28% from this same week last year. We were at 560. Our new listings last week, 92, pending listings 103, closed listings 64, and expired or canceled was 20. So we're looking pretty good, especially in the pending count. Very strong number. We saw that a couple weeks ago. We've actually seen it the last several weeks, but a couple weeks ago we were over 100 as well. So per the 4-week average, we're up 20 on the new listings, we're up 14 on the pending, we're up 20 on the closed, and we're down 6 on the expired or canceled listing contracts. And comparing this data to this same week last year's data, we're down 26% on new listings for the week, down 16% on pending, and we're down 30% on closed. So really, we're not far off of our pending count from last year. 16% really is not a lot considering the market we're in and the changes that we have seen. If we take our new listings at 92 for this past week, 14 of those have already gone pending. That's 15% of those new listings. So that's good. You know, there's definitely movement. I know for a fact that I put 2 in escrow that were just on the market for a couple of days this last week, and we faced several offers in those situations. So we're starting to see multiple offer situations become more common again. Some are going over asking, as we were seeing last year, and I think that's just because there still is not a lot to choose from. So if we take a snapshot of this week, so our active count at 779 and our closes at 64, we do the math, it brings us to 2.8 months of inventory as a snapshot of that 1 week. So that's the lowest single week snapshot since the first week of October, if I look back at my data. And a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, I did a theoretical snapshot of what we were going to look like in a month if we maintained the amount of pending listings that we were maintaining. And I was taking about 70% of those pending going all the way through close and doing the math based off of that. And that puts us at 2.3 months of inventory in about a week or two from now. So we're not far off with that 2.8 months. We're almost to 2.3 months, and we were just at 4 months of inventory just a few weeks ago. But now, as we're kicking into the new year and we're past the 6 weeks after Christmas, where things were definitely going to be slow on the closing side, just because things were so slow on the pending side during the Christmas and New Year's holidays. We're starting to see the numbers kick into shape here. We're exactly a month away from spring, technically March 21st. So we're going to start to see things heat up. And regardless of what the interest rates are doing, obviously, because currently this is based off of Friday because banks and lenders title was closed yesterday, and it's not late enough today to see the numbers yet. But we are at 6.8% on a 30-year fixed conventional on Friday. That's the national average, and we were at 6.1% on a 30-year fixed FHA. And just 3 weeks ago, we were at 5.99% on a 30-year fixed conventional mortgage for a national average. You're going to find maybe a little bit better than that locally, and especially if you use points and buy down, you'll get better than that. But discouraging that the rates have gone up. We've talked about that in the last couple of weeks. So despite the rates, the market's still heating up. This same week last year was when we saw the turning point in our active count. So we saw our active listings start to go up, and they went up all the way until July 25th, 22. They've been descending since then. So we topped out just over 1,300, and now we're down to 779 today. So I think in the next couple weeks, we're going to start to see that number start climbing back up until the summer once again. We haven't seen it yet just because, I don't know, there just hasn't been a lot of people wanting to list their home throughout the winter. So that number has been continually going down because there's been more places selling than there have been getting listed. And I can say, acting as a buyer's agent as well as a listing agent, it's been hard on the buyer side to find what people want. they have the budget, they can afford what they're looking for, but there's just not much to choose from out there. So I think, we're going to start to see that number start to ascend here in a couple weeks. If we look at the last couple weeks, we've only descended in smaller increments than we were for a while there. So I think it's time that we start seeing that number go back up. But it's going to be relative to what the what the buying looks like, and obviously what the listings look like. So I know from experience I have a few listings coming up, so more than I would average, through the winter season. So looking at that fact, he's okay. If I'm just one person looking at my own data, there's probably going to be several other agents that have listings coming up as spring gets closer. And that's generally the time people want to make a move in the year, especially if they're a family, to get the kids out of school after springtime, move and get them into a new school by the end of summer and hopefully into a new home as well. So things generally move more in the spring and summer, and the weather's better. It's just that time of the year. So we'll keep a close eye on that and see what actually happens. But like I said, I think in 2 weeks we're going to start to see these numbers on our active listings start to climb up. Unless we see just a drastic number of pending listings here in the next few weeks, because right now the pending listings are outweighing the new listings, but the closes are not yet because they're falling a little bit underneath our pending count still. So we'll keep a close watch on it. As always, we'll report every Monday, as always, maybe on Tuesdays sometimes if Mondays are busy. But also, if you know anybody looking to sell or buy, I really appreciate the referrals. They mean a lot, and they go a long way. They carry my business. A lot of my business is done off of somebody that sent my name to somebody, and it became a transaction. And I appreciate that. All of you that are spreading my name around out there, sharing my things on Facebook. That means a lot. It goes a long way for a business like mine, especially in a valley as small as ours is. Everybody have a great week, and in the meantime, stay dry. We'll talk to you next week.